Assalamualaikum everyone. I hope you all are good. Today in lower secondary 2 biology class we have started our new topic, that is topic number 1.4, movement in and out of the cells, on page number 14 and 15. As we all know that our cell, the animal or the plant cell, are actually they are surrounded by a membrane that is known as cell membrane, right? There are various functions of the cell membrane. The first function is that it provides a shape to the cell. The second function is that it acts as a barrier that can protect the inner constituents of the cell, and the third main role is that it regulates the material to pass in and out of the cell. Now what are these material? Let us discuss in other slides. Life actually depends on the exchange of materials between the cells. Okay, if I take example of plant, so plant absorbs the water by its root cells, right? It absorbs the water, and inside the water the nutrients are present, right? Inside the water the nutrients are present, so it absorbs those by using the root cells, and root cells, in the root cells as well the cell membrane is present that helps in the absorption. So basically the cell membrane is the main organ that helps in the that helps in taking the materials inside the cell. Okay, so it has a mechanism that it absorbs the materials inside the cell. So today we are going to discuss about these processes, like for example the material that pass in and out of the cell can be done by using three processes, that is diffusion, osmosis and active transport. So today we are going to start with the diffusion. That what is a diffusion? Diffusion, as you know, you have already heard about diffusion before, that the net movement of the molecules within a gas or a liquid from a region of higher concentration to a lower concentration is called diffusion. Like for example, if someone spills a bottle of perfume in one room, so you may be able to smell it even in the second room as well, because the particles of the perfume, which are gas particles, which are actually liquid particles, they have spaces between them, right? The particles have a space between them. Also the gas, that is air, have spaces between them. So what will happen, the perfume is volatile, right? So it can evaporate very easily. So when it evaporates, the particles of the perfume collide with the air particles, right? So when the bottle of the perfume spills on an area, on that area the concentration of the perfume particles are very high, so it has to move from the higher concentration area to the lower concentration area, because when the concentration is higher on one side, the particles will collide even more. So when they collide even more, they will spread, of course, right? So when the particles in the higher concentration area, they collide more often, and they will spread in all direction, and this is known as random motion, right? So they spread in random motion, and they will move forward. They will spread in all direction, and that is why you can smell the perfume even when you are sitting in the next room as well. So, alright, so this is known as diffusion. The movement of the molecules from a higher concentration area to the lower concentration area by the collision of the particles is known as diffusion. Okay, so the particles move from the higher concentration area to the lower concentration area. This is known as concentration gradient. Concentration gradient is actually the difference of the concentration on two different places. Like for example, the higher concentration and the lower concentration. This is known as concentration gradient, right? So when the diffusion occurs, the particles move from the higher concentration area to the lower concentration area. So we say that the particles are moving down the concentration gradient, right? So they keep on striking, and they keep on spreading until and unless they are evenly spread out. So then the time will come that there will be no concentration gradient, and there will be no high or low concentration. Rather than these particles will be evenly spread out throughout the place, and there will be no concentration gradient at that time, right? Okay, so diffusion is a passive process. Why do we say that diffusion is a passive process? Because it does not require any energy. If the bottle of perfume is spilled, so it will spread on its own. We do not require to provide any. It does not require input of energy. All right, we do not need to give any energy to it to let it spread. It will spread on its own by the collision of the particles, right? So it is a passive process, and it will keep on diffusing unless and until there is no concentration gradient left, and until and unless it has not evenly spread throughout the room or throughout a place. This is known as dynamic equilibrium, when the particles have spread out evenly in all direction and there is no concentration gradient. This is known as dynamic equilibrium. So diffusion is a passive process that will occur until and unless the dynamic equilibrium has reached. Okay, so our cell membrane is actually a partially permeable membrane, which is known as a semi-permeable membrane as well, because it allows only some of the particles to pass through it, whereas it blocks other particles, right? So why does it block the other particles? Because if the particles are too large, or they have different electrical charges, or sometimes also the chemical composition does not matches with the cell membrane, so it blocks the passage in and out of the cell, right? So based on the sizes, as you can see this example over here, the protein, glucose and water molecules are present on one side, right? And this is a cell membrane. This pink line is a cell membrane, and you can see on the other side the cell membrane is allowing only glucose and water molecules to pass inside of the cell, whereas it is stopping protein molecules, because the protein molecules are very large in size, right? Also, based on the electrical charges, these molecules can be moved from the from extracellular fluid to the to the intracellular fluid, right? Like for example, the inner lining of the cell membrane is negatively charged, right? So what will happen, the sodium ions will move inside, because sodium contains positive charge, whereas the inner lining contains negative charge, so they can easily move inside, whereas it will stop chlorine ions to get diffused, right? Alright, so there are different life processes that occur by using this diffusion. Like for example, as I have already given you the example of the plants, that plants absorb the water by using the root cells, root hair cells. Root hair cells contain the cell membrane, and it can all the nutrients from the soil can be diffused through the cell membrane of the root hairs. Also, plants absorb carbon dioxide by diffusion, okay, and also it releases the oxygen that is produced by during the process of photosynthesis, and the oxygen is diffuses out of the plant into the air by this process, right? Okay, oxygen from our lungs, when we breathe, the oxygen gets into our lungs and it gets diffused into the blood. So it also gets diffused into the blood by the process of diffusion. Okay, glucose and amino acids in our intestine, when we eat the food and the food is digested, the glucose and amino acids from our food will get diffused into the blood by the process of diffusion as well. So there are so many processes in our that takes place in our life that requires this process of diffusion, okay, and diffusion is always facilitated by cell membrane. So I hope everything is clear to you, and please revise this topic one more time, and inshallah we will cover this topic further in our next class. Till then, Allah Hafiz.